Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Cryss.
And this is a Knit Sheet Studio podcast. Couldn't remember the name for a second. It happens.
The AKS Studio podcast.
Yes, we're the AKS Studio podcast. As you see,
my.
we're still working on the name.
Oh, dear. Okay. Our mommy says to tell you to please like and subscribe. So we have to remember to ask because it makes our mommy happy.
Yeah, and as soon as we get off, she's like, did you?
She does every time.
Did you say like and subscribe?
So we actually had a little video glitch, so
yeah,
I'm just going to have to repeat everything I just said.
This is take two, but it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so Lisa asked me what I was up to, and then I said I was swatching, and now I'm going to talk about my swatch.
There you have it.
And so I previously showed a book that I got 50 crochet cable stitches, and I've just been playing around with some of the cable patterns. And so this yarn is just Michael's Wool-like, and I'm not going to be making anything with this specific yarn, but I have a lot of it, so when I need to practice things, it's a good candidate. So these are two of the stitch patterns in the book. As you see, that one is really, really simple. And then I got me some diamonds.
Fancy.
It turns out cable stitches are not as scary as I thought. As I said the first time we recorded, I had to get used to thinking of myself as working with 3 rows at the same time. So there's the row you're actively stitching. The row right below that is basically just kind of like a setup row of all single crochets. And then the row below that is where you're actually making your post stitches. So every time you make a post stitch in that 3rd row, you have to skip a stitch in the 2nd row. And you have to make sure you skip the right stitch, and you have to skip the right number of stitches. And that's where I used to get tripped up. So when I was working on these swatches, I just slowed way down, and I tried to actually keep count of which stitch I was working on. And what I did was, because first of all, work from the chart.
Yeah, girl.
Pay no attention to the text that's written. Work from the chart. And I counted the stitches on the chart. And so I know, okay, in stitch 8, I'm supposed to do a post stitch. In stitch 12, I'm supposed to do a post stitch. And that's how I started getting across the rows, and everything was lining up and in the right place. And so this is a swatch. Well, this is me just learning the technique. So I'm going to do a few more of the cable patterns on this same swatch. And then I'm going to decide which one I want to use for a sweater I want to make, because I just got this Tweety yarn that I absolutely love. And
who's that from? Is that the hot knit?
Yes. And I think it's the base is called Betsy Sock.
Yeah, I think it's called Betsy Sock.
And it's really, really cute. I got this really pretty pink color, and I think tweed and cable is just going to be a very happy combination, and I'm very excited.
What size hook are you working on?
This one, I'm using a 3.5, which was the hook size recommended on the ball band.
Yeah. Your cables look really good.
I'm so excited. I like to learn that I can do cables. Who knew?
I don't know how. You know what? For cables, I need the chart too, because just having it written out, I find it confusing.
Yeah, let me tell you, I did these from the chart, and then I tried to read the written instructions afterwards, and I was still confused, even though I knew what they were trying to tell me.
Yeah.
And I think there might have been a little bit of a typo in at least one of the ones I was reading. So follow the chart.
That's the other thing
I think realized. It's a hard thing to describe.
Yes. And oftentimes when there's a chart and a written pattern, there's a mistake in one or the other. I've seen that in several patterns. So you have to like pick the one that's right and go with that.
Yeah. So I think the chart's all right. So I'll be working on the charts. And that's good, because I'm really just trying to become more fluent in chart reading. And so this is another opportunity for me to do that. I have a Japanese dictionary. Yeah. And that's all charts. There's no English in it. It's all charts. And so I'm really trying to use things like that to help me just learn to become more fluent in reading charts, because that's just a skill I'm trying to acquire. Yeah. That's swatch number 1. Swatch number 2.
I'm excited.
Now this one is the yarn that I'll actually be working in, and this is Rainbow Beach.
Yeah, it's Queensland Collection Rainbow Beach.
I keep wanting to call it Brighton Beach.
I know.
Okay, this is Queensland Collection Rainbow Beach from KFI. and it's a sport weight 100% wool, and it's not a superwash, and it's not a merino.
It's a natural wool.
It's not bad. And I'm making a vest, so I'll be making something I'll wear over another thing. So this is just I'm using post stitches, but it's not really a cable pattern.
That's gorgeous.
But this gives you a ton of stretch. So if I use this one, I will probably make it, really fitted. Yeah. But I have a few ideas of stitch patterns. I have 3 stitch patterns I'm trying to decide between. So I swatched one. I'm going to swatch the other 2 and see which one's my favorite. But I love how the color gradient is working out. Mm-hmm. So I'm really, really excited to be working with this yarn.
I was just reading up on that yarn last night, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Tell us what you learned.
They said that they wanted it to have a real, look. Okay.
Oh. Okay. Don't know what that was. Microphone issues, but we're just going to roll past it.
We are.
Okay, so just what you were just saying about the...
Oh, yeah. So I was reading up on the Queensland collection last night, and they said that the yarn is designed so that the exact color progression doesn't necessarily repeat. So the same colors will change, but it may not be in exactly the same way. But it's going to be a sliding gradient that just smoothly goes through the colors.
So that's going to make it very interesting to work with. But so far, so good. I actually really like it. I like using yarns that do fun things like that because then I can keep my stitch pattern really simple, which is what I prefer, and just let the yarn do the work. So this is my second swatch. Now, my third swatch, she's a little messy because I kept changing my mind about the stitch pattern. And so right now, the swatch actually has 3 stitch patterns, but I don't know how well you'll be able to see it because it's monochromatic.
And it's white. In our lighting, it's going to get a little bit blown out.
Yeah.
Here, let me hold the balls for you. That didn't sound good, but sorry.
Don't say turtle. Okay. So this is Angora lace and Silky Kid, which is a mohair from Ella Ray, and Angora lace is from Universal. And let me see if you can. We'll put a picture. Yeah, you're not really going to be able to see it, but basically the bottom is just all single crochet, and then actually all 3 of these stitch patterns, interestingly, are all single crochet. You just arrange the single crochet in different ways. But I think I'm going to go with this third one, which has like a 3 single crochet cluster, to give me a little bit of texture because I was working in just straight single crochet and it was a little boring.
Yeah, and the cluster stitch is really showing up nicely. Yeah. And it's interesting to see. That's why it's really good to do different stitch patterns on the same swatch, because you can see how it's pulling that.
Yeah, so I'm going to
not working.
My sizing is going to be a little bit different if I use the stitch pattern, but now I know this.
What? But,
shut up. Oh, God. Oh, my gosh. She's such like a swatch pusher. And like, okay, fine. Yes, swatching can be useful, especially if you're designing something. I don't understand how you could design something without doing a swatch.
Impossible.
I think if you were just doing a big old rectangle with just one stitch, you could maybe fly by the seat of your pants. But especially for me, because I'm still so new at this, I need this information. And I think what happens is maybe over time, if you work with the same yarn again, or if you make the same garment shape over and over again, you start to be able to guesstimate some things. Yeah. But right now, this is where I'm going to start as far as, figuring out what I need to do to make a garment that actually fits me.
So you are replacing a commercial garment that got kind of ruined in the wash.
I ruined it in the dryer. It turned into I was like, what happens here?
It's not even fabric anymore. How does this fabric compare to the one?
Well, it's very similar. The other one had more fuzz, and it was like commercial machine knit.
Yeah.
So the stitches were less visible, so you saw more fuzz than you see. But I like that. I'm actually going to see more texture with this one.
One caveat: wash it first and see. Yeah. Because this yarn, the mohair blooms after you wash it. So you might actually get that super fuzz that you're looking for.
Okay. But so this is going to be for a cute little cardigan that I'm making. And I have a store-bought sweater that I'm just going to swipe all the dimensions from because I really like how that sweater fits.
Mm-hmm.
And try to, like, you know, make a reasonable facsimile of that size and shape.
So how are you going to swipe the dimensions?
I'm going to measure the heck out of that sweater.
Okay. And that's how you do it.
I'll put it on the ground and take my tape measure and have at it. So these things, you know, because it's already seamed,
Mm-hmm.
the measurements will be slightly approximate, but I can, you know, adjust for that.
Here and there. Yeah.
So these are for 3 things that are actually in my queue at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't know. I don't know which one I'm gonna work on first. I'm tempted to go with the vest just because that's the smallest thing and it has no sleeves, and so just vest. But I had this one planned for so long that I really just kind of wanted, because you know what? There are times when I'm getting dressed and I'm like, oh, that white sweater will look so cute with this outfit, and I don't have it. So I feel like I really need to replace that garment like quick, fast, in a hurry. So we'll see which one actually ends up on my hook next. And of course, I'm still working on the impossible dress, but I am in the home stretch. I had 2 balls of the Fino.
Yeah.
And when I was winding, I popped one. So one of them was in 2 smaller balls, and I finished the first of those 2 smaller balls. All I have left is just a little bit of my second ball of Fino, and then I can start working on actually turning it from a big rectangle into what I hope will be a dress. So I'm further along on the impossible dress than I thought I could possibly achieve.
I know, you did not believe.
3.25 millimeter hook, people. So no, I was all kinds of dubious, but I may actually have a dress.
I believe.
So those are my swatches. And Lisa has some finished socks.
I do. And I have a story.
Uh-oh.
I have finished socks, and these are my Blossom socks. They're so fun.
And that is Rico Design Superba Vintage.
Yes, I absolutely loved. I really liked working with this yarn. It was really easy to work with, and it had enough jazz to it that I didn't feel I needed to do anything.
Those are cute. Those are really cute. And every time she shows them, I'm like, oh, those would make a great Christmas present.
Wouldn't they?
And she agrees. You heard that, right? Okay.
Maybe an after Christmas. I don't know. But I love them. And they are, now, the only thing I would do differently when I make another pair, because I've decided I really like ankle socks, I would make the leg a little bit longer.
Why?
Only because these are fine with shoes, but how I'd really like to wear them is with ankle boots, and these won't show over the top of an ankle boot.
Okay.
So I would just, and I'm not talking like a lot. I'm talking about maybe an inch plus the cuff. So let me tell you what happened. Generally speaking, when I make socks, I use my foot model. And you can learn how to make one of these in the Fish Lips Kiss heel pattern, and it works every single time. No issues with sizing. Matter of fact, a dear friend of mine is making socks for several people in her office, and she got foot models from them. What happened was she made socks for several people in her office. She got foot models from all of them. They don't have to do anything but trace their foot. And
that's hilarious.
Yeah, you didn't know she was making the foot models and all?
No. So she just has the cardboard cutout of her coworkers' feet.
Yes, several of them.
That's funny. Okay.
But last year she made them the socks. They loved them. Matter of fact, one of them told her that she should probably quit her job and just make socks for a living, because they were the best socks he ever put on his feet, and he never had a pair of socks fit like that.
Okay.
But they were made from a custom foot model, so with a pulse. And I couldn't find my foot model, but I made myself a lot of socks, and so I guesstimated, and I was right the first time I guessed. But when I was actually making the sock, and I got to the point where I have to just set the width of the sock, I said, "Oh, that looks a little small."
How you just decide that?
because I usually, to make a sock for myself, I usually either do a 64 or 68 sit sock.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, it's looking a little small. Let me do a 68 this time. And it was too big. And I did make this sock
with
as a 68.
A difference of 4 stitches, you can't tell by eye.
Correct.
So
absolutely correct. So this one is a 68 sit sock, which is in fact a little too big. And this one is, because I made this one, and this one is a 64 sit sock, which fits perfectly. But here's the joke. I want to put them together so you can really see the difference 4 stitches can make. Because I know somebody out there is going, well, yeah, it's just 4 stitches.
Oh.
Cryss will see it in my lap. So this is the difference 4 stitches can make in a sock.
Oh, okay.
Now, the 68 sit sock is still wearable, but it does not fit the way I normally like my socks to fit, which is a very foot conforming fit.
Differently, and that would drive me nuts to have 2 socks that felt different in the shoe. Oh no. Oh no.
So, you know what? Use your foot model. Trust it. And just because something looks small, don't add stitches, because that's what I did.
You know what? We really do need to get your supplies all organized so you can keep your foot model with all of yours.
Yeah.
We're going to work on that.
Yeah.
She's so organized in her notes.
And you know what? It's so funny. I have a book that I made where I keep my foot models, because I have several people's foot models. And mine was in a sock. So it was like on active duty. So that's why it wasn't in the book where I keep all my other foot models.
I didn't know about the book of foot models.
Well, it's just, it's just a folder that you can put those plastic holders in.
I'm just saying, if a house was ever robbed and someone found the book of foot models, they would just be like, what? Whose house are we in now? Maybe we should go.
What happened here? Are these people okay?
The things that are perfectly normal in like a knitter's home that you might not find elsewhere. Okay.
Yeah, so trust your foot model, okay? And when you're making a sock and you have a foot model, and you know what? I really wanted to get into the sock so much. I could have just made another foot model, but I didn't, because I wasn't not feeling it at the moment, because I really wanted to get going. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, I did not know about this. Okay.
Yeah.
She always surprises me with things on camera, and I'm just like, really? And then I'm not supposed to fall apart laughing like I may have once. Okay. Cautionary tales of sock making.
Yes, the cautionary tales. So I have a whip that I'm really thoroughly enjoying. This is my Painting Rainbow Shawl.
Painting honeycombs.
Painting honeycombs. I don't know why.
You're so excited about this yarn.
You know what it is? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's because it's rainbow yarn. I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to just pull this up. I stopped in the middle of a row.
Oh.
But I love how this is working. I absolutely, positively love how this works.
And that is the Colorburst.
Yes,
yarn.
This is Colorburst.
Will you be able to make the whole shawl with one ball of this?
Don't know. We'll see.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. I'm suspecting I will be able to, but I don't know.
Now, he has 2 versions of the Stephen West pattern. He has 2 versions, the big honeycomb and the little honeycomb.
Yeah, this is the big honeycomb.
But both of them are still on fingering weight yarn.
Yes.
And you just sized up to DK.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I wanted my shawl to be bigger.
So it's literally just the size of this honeycomb here that is different on the 2 patterns.
Right.
Okay.
Because the one with small honeycombs, the honeycombs are about half.
Yeah, but size. With this, the way the color gradient is, I think it made sense to do a bigger honeycomb so you can see more colors in one honeycomb.
When I was looking at it, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, I think I really want to do the big honeycombs because I wanted my honeycombs to look striped. And what I'm thinking is going to happen is as I continue and my rows continue to get shorter and shorter, the honeycombs will fill up with color. And I really wanted that effect to happen. So by the end of the shawl, I'll have honeycombs that are probably just full of one color.
This is really cute. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely in love.
And it's gonna be warm.
It is.
This will not be a summer shawl.
Because no, not at all. Not unless, I was working in a really cold office. My old office could be 50 degrees in the summer. It would be so cold up in there. I was traumatized.
But this is going to look really nice over a coat.
Oh, yes.
I think it's
over a coat. And you know what? It's been like sweater weather lately. Mm-hmm. This would take the place of a big sweater very, very easily. Mm-hmm. Because this yarn is merino wool. It's 60%. Is it 65, 35?
35.
Yeah, it's 65 merino, 35 acrylic. So it's washable. And the other yarn, the white yarn, that is Berroco Ultra Wool. It's a superwash wool that is also washable and 100% wool. So the trade-off I'm getting for that acrylic is that it gives me washability, but having it be more wool than acrylic, it doesn't weigh. Because, acrylic yarns can be heavy once you work it up into a fabric. Mm-hmm. So now I still have some lightness to it, which is lovely. So let me tell you what happened in this one.
Oh, my. Okay.
I have not ripped out the 2 rows I need to rip out yet because I'm just enchanted by my honeycomb stripes. Loving that. Every time I look at it, I'm so, you have a piece that makes you smile when you look at it. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy with this. And this is the style of knitting I really like to do, where it's intuitive, where if I look at the row below, I know exactly what I need to do in the next row. So it's awesome. The only bad thing about that is that you can get on a roll. I can get on a roll and neglect to count, which apparently is what happened. I must have missed counting out one cell because that's exactly what happened. I missed counting out one cell. And in this, as you see, things need to line up just so.
Yep.
And if you're off, I have one cell with fewer stitches that I need to have in it. So it made the whole row off. But it was a setup row for the next, level of cells. So it's fine. Because that's the setup row, I'm going to go back and just rip out the half a row I did. I was like, girl, you need to rip that out. Because I was like, you know what I did?
Fantasies about just working around it. And
you know what I did? I created a couple of stitches in the cell. This is what I'm missing. And then I got a half a row past that. And I was like, just go back. Don't wait till you have 6 rows to rip out. Just go back. So I haven't really gotten a chance to.
She does not like ripping out.
No, she doesn't.
She will always just make it work designer rather than rip out. But this pattern in particular, it requires that kind of precise count.
Yes, it is unforgiving. And you know what? What I was doing, and I know I sound insane when I'm working on this because I'm always like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm over there pulling a Rain Man, okay? So I'm counting along, and maybe I got distracted and I missed the count in one cell, or I didn't count in that one cell. Anyway, it didn't have the right number of stitches. That's the bottom line. That's it right there. And so I'm just going to go back and rip them back. But happily, my chart that I made is working out really great. Because now, it's been a couple of days since that occurred. And if I didn't have my chart, I would have to rely on remembering. That's not going to work out. So what I did because the way this thing works is I have to repeat about 30 rows 16 times.
That sounds fun.
You know what? In a way it is because it's very rhythmic knitting and it's not as though I don't know what's happening. Mm-hmm. It's not like every row is, so patterns like that where every row is different. Mm-hmm. You turn on the back, you're doing something. You turn on the front, you're doing something. Heaven help you. But it's not that type of thing. I can look at it and see, oh, girl, you done messed up. So what I did to help me know exactly what row I was in was I made in my former life, I made a lot of spreadsheets. So when I want to organize things, that's another way to do it. When I want to organize things, I still kind of make a spreadsheet. I made a spreadsheet with all the rows that I need to do, and how many times I need to repeat
a little
them.
bear tag.
That's just 6 dots. So I can just get to this page easily. Oh, did you reach that index card right down there? And then I wrote out the rows that I'm repeating on my index card, so I can have my index card lying right here on my sheet. And until I memorize exactly what needs to be done, I have my card. I know exactly what row I'm in. I know exactly which repeat number I'm in. And ripping out this one row is not going to be an issue at all. And then the last thing I did was on the pattern itself, I left myself a sticky, and it says rip back row 18 and row 17.
Oh, there you go. That is very useful.
Yeah, girl. Can I tell you, I have a sweater in a bag now that's partially finished because the repeat on it, everything looks kind of the same. But if I guess which row I'm in, what I would have to do, and I tried it, the pattern doesn't happen anymore. It starts making like these it makes a different pattern if you don't guess which row you're in correctly. And I haven't.
But you can't count?
No, because it's not that type of party.
Okay, see, knitting.
If the rows all kind of look the same, how do you tell which row you're in? Like, how do I know this is a row one? You can't count the
total number of rows?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't have a total number of rows. It was something I was making up on my own. And I lost the path.
See, this is before you had the notebook.
Yes.
Yeah, see.
Well, even then, I wouldn't have the total number of rows. It's like, because I'm working from a pattern, I can see in the pattern, I need to repeat these 30 rows 16 times. But if I was making it up as I went along, I wouldn't know how many rows total it was.
But you would be writing down how many rows you had done.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why that lives in a bag.
Okay.
But that's what I have for knitting this week. I did a little bit of progress on my Alaska sweater, but you guys have seen that. I will have more next week, and I'll show it to you then.
Okay, so I have one mostly finished object because I talked about in the little daily videos we film at the store, I talked about knocking off a top from a trunk show we had for the yarn Angora, and our other sister mentioned that I never showed it on camera. So this is my top. Yeah, okay, this one's the front. Okay.
What are you going to name it?
Right now it's called the knockoff tee. And so it's longer in the back than in the front, and just a really basic shape, but I wanted to, and it's mostly a boat neck. I did just maybe like a couple of rows of neck shaping just so it wouldn't be quite as high. But I really just wanted to like mimic that fan structure that was on the top, and it's going to be sleeveless. So I did my shoulder seams. I just have to stitch down the sides and weave in my ends, and it's just been in a UFO draw for a minute, but I would like to finish it. And so across the top I did linen stitch, and then this fan pattern I just kind of made up, so I would have to like read these stitches to tell you exactly what I did, but it was a lark. I should maybe go back and try to write it down. I wrote nothing down. We're having like all the technical issues today.
Yeah.
So, but it's just going to be a cute little boxy tee, and I'm really happy with how it came out. This is the yarn is Cotton Faire, which is a cotton acrylic blend. I think it's like 49. I think it's 51.49 cotton acrylic, and it's sport weight. It's yarn I've worked with quite a bit, so I like it.
And I will get a picture of the original piece that she kind of made a copy of.
Yeah, borrowed inspiration, because I wasn't trying to exactly replicate it. I was just trying to include the features that I liked.
Really like.
So having this solid stitch pattern at the top, and then having kind of like this fan structure with those vertical bars in between. That's just what I was going for.
It looks like it, though. It looks really cute.
So this is for my sister Jessica. Here's the top. And yeah, I finished this quite some time ago. Like I said, because I finished it in the summer. And then I hate doing finishing work. And I know I need to like work past that.
You can do it.
But so, let me tell you, the worst one I ever did, I made a sweater and I set it down for almost a year, and the sweater had one sleeve. I just couldn't get up the gumption I finished the second sleeve. I just didn't attach it.
It's sewing together that gets
so I had to sew on that sleeve, and I had to finish the neckline, and I still haven't woven in the ends on that sweater. I actually ended up naming it the Bandit sweater because for so long it had one arm. So I can really like get a little shady with the finishing work. My bad.
Someone here has been known to weave in her ends that morning and then wear the thing that afternoon. Yeah, and let me tell you, I don't weave all of them in. And so like when I'm pulling it on or taking it off, my mom will sometimes see those extra ends and just gives me the sternest look because she's like, really? Really? And I'm like, yep. I'm like, if you can't see them, they don't exist. There you go. So I'll only weave in the ends that'll stick out, so anything at the bottom or at the end of the sleeve. Yeah. But like inside the shoulders or down the side, child. If you're looking that hard, you deserve to see what you see. Exactly. Be up at my armpit is what I always say. So I have to get better about that, just because, like for me, the joy of stitching is in the wearing. I love being able to wear something that I've made. And I have to just acknowledge that the finishing work is part of the process, and that when I'm sleeping at night, the shoemakers elves are not going to come and do my finishing work. They don't come out for you either? No. What? So, you know what? The shoemaker, after, he saw the elves working, he made them little clothes and little boots. Maybe I need to make their clothes first and lay them out, and then the elves will come. Because so far, I've had some lazy elves. But yeah, I'm going to work on getting better about writing things down and getting my finishing work done sooner. So there's just way less of a lag between what I call a finished garment and an actual finished garment. Yay. There you go. It's just like I am taking my crochet a lot more seriously in terms of like actually making clothes to add to my wardrobe. And so there was a lot of like sketchy habits I could get away with in the past when it was just like, oh, a lark and I'll just make a thing and whatever. And now actually trying to be a garment maker, I'm going to have to work on some of those sketchy habits. Oh, yeah. I think we all have them. We all start with them and we all have them. Like you doing the sock without the foot. Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make it a 68. 64 was exactly right. That's where I started. So is it the yarn weight or the needle size? What makes a difference for you between a 64 and a 68? Sometimes the yarn is very fine and I just have to go out a little bit more. Yeah. But this yarn wasn't that fine. And this is on a US 1. I did the both socks on the same US 1 needles. And those 4 stitches made a huge difference. So you still have some of that yarn left. You wouldn't just make a third sock? No, of course not. It was wearable. I say if it functions. It would drive me nuts feeling the 2 different size socks in my shoes. I probably wouldn't be able to wear them. I would have to make the third sock. Yeah, I'm not that sensitive. But yeah, so we all, you know what, share if you have those sketchy habits that you need to work on, because I'd like to know I'm not alone. So let us know in the comments. And if you're a make it work mama, let us know habits you are working on overcoming to, improve your stitching life. Yeah, improve your results, to make real wearable garments. Yes.
because she already got me into swatching. She's such a swatch proselytizer, and you have to understand how many people have come to the store and like, oh yeah, you got me swatching, Lisa. I'm just like, wow, she has really been on her swatch game. Okay.
Swatching's like the vaccine. It works.
Oh.
It works.
It's safe and effective.
It's safe and effective. That's right.
Okay, I think on that note, we've gotten as silly as we dare.
Oh, I have some shop news.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and we have podcast news.
We do.
Yes, we do. We're doing Vlogmas for the very first time.
Oh snap! Yeah.
We feel like we're officially bloggers now. I mean, excuse me.
She feels that.
Podcasters.
I'm still.
Because we're gonna do Vlogmas here on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that means we're gonna be doing a video every day from December 1st to December 24th. Quality is going to vary.
Mm-hmm. My only goal for, because you've seen a lot of Vlogmases that trail off after a certain number of days.
That's our only goal.
All I want is for us to actually have 24 videos.
Yeah.
So what's in them?
Well, I made a list. And
she's so cute because she really thinks that list is going to be like,
it's better than not having
us. So I'm just saying we will try, but
it's better than not having a list.
Sometimes,
we're gonna try. Yeah, sometimes things go a little weird. I hesitate to say pear-shaped. But yeah, sometimes they do. But if you have at least a starting point, there's a limit.
I just feel like we're going to encounter some turtles along the way.
we might find some turtles of unusual size. So that's our Vlogmas news. So stay tuned for that. Also, tomorrow is Thanksgiving when we're filming this.
Mm-hmm.
So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We are going to be doing a whole Black Friday weekend in the shop.
Which most of will have gone by when you all see this video.
Oh,
but
yeah,
this will post on Cyber
but
Monday, so we'll be doing an online sale.
Yes.
This post will be able to catch.
Yes, you will be able to catch it. Catch it. You'll definitely be able to catch our Cyber Monday sale because when this posts. And please turn up because we're doing
a live chunk show.
A live chunk show. I don't know why I couldn't get the words out.
Are we doing for both yarns?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a double feature, people.
Yeah.
It's a double feature. So, one of the yarns we'll be showing is Colorburst. And we'll have a bunch of garments from the Colorburst collection.
And I'm really excited about that one because they sent us 5 garments. 2 of them are crochet and 0 of them are ugly. Good job, Universal.
Thank you, Universal. Also, we have a whole collection of garments from the Queensland collection.
No crochet.
Sadly. But Crystal's going to crochet a vest. My only sadness is I wish I had I would have my painting rainbows shawl ready to wear because that's also done. Painting honeycomb shawl. That's the name of the shawl. Ready to wear because I would wear it on that day. But sadly, no. But it will be finished eventually.
Okay.
So, do come out and join us. It's going to be live.
Monday at 2?
Yes. Monday at 2. That's what I said in the email. But if you want to keep up with our shenanigans...
She's about to tell y'all the wrong time.
Yes, I was. If you want to keep up with our shenanigans, go ahead and subscribe to our newsletter. The link is going to be in the description box below. So I think that's all the shenanigans we have for today.
Yeah, we should just rename this podcast AKS Shenanigans.
I'm down.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm so down for that.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.